Hi everyone, my name is Shivani Tyagi, your philosophy and ethics teacher. So today we are going to learn about Buddhism. Now imagine that you are among those people who are saying one thing, but you have different perspective. Will it be tough for you to understand their perspective, and will it be tough for you to basically present your perspective? Right? So same was happening with Buddhism also, and somewhere I related Charvak theories also, because they both didn't believe in soul, right? They didn't believe in I, but the difference was Buddhism believed in afterlife, but Charvak didn't. But the concept they have, like, it's minor detail, but it's there, right? So this is what you have to do. Whenever you are learning any philosophy, whenever you are trying to connect them, make sure that you are trying to take even single detail of there and try to merge them, try to understand their theories, right? This is why it is important when you are understanding their philosophy, you are relating them all together. And same goes with Indian philosophers and Western philosophers also. So when we talk about Buddhism, there are three principles that we are going to learn, and they are the core ideas of Buddhism. First is Pratitya Samutpada, then we have Shunyakavada, and then we have Narityamavada. Now we are going to learn these one by one, and Buddhism is a theory, is a philosophy, is a religion that I think, like Jainism only, we should follow it because it teaches us so many things, so many beautiful things that it should be implemented by each one of us. Because peaceful, right? Thinking about us, thinking about the society, then working towards it, right? Not getting influenced with materialism. And these are the things which are necessary, especially in 2025 when we are, covered with gadgets, thinking about ourselves, right? So these are the philosophies which tells us that it is important to think beyond that, right? We are covered with gadgets, with this materialistic world, that we forgot what humanity is. And this is the differences that this society is bringing up. And it is very important that once again we all together read these philosophies and implement them in real life. Now let's understand these philosophies one by one. First of all, there are different schools of Buddhism. Like in school, we have different teachers for different subjects, right? For science, we have different teacher. For arts, we have different teacher. For maths, we have different teachers. In the same way, Buddhism also have different schools to teach us different theories. Now, it focuses on Pratisamutpada, Shanyavada, and Narityamavada. These are the schools that we are going to understand, and these are the things that teaches us different perspectives. Now, these are very important in Buddhist thought because they teaches us that how everything is dependent, right? There is no self, and how there is a relation between cause and effect, right? So let's understand what it says. So Buddhism arose as a reform movement within Hinduism, right? Then it rejected the concept of permanent self. It says that nothing is permanent. Every single thing changes from one to one, right? And this reminds me of a philosopher for which I made a video also, Hegel, right? Do you remember Hegel? Now, tell me what he said in the comment section. But I'll give you the overview. So, if you remember, I made the video and I told and explained his philosophy, saying that Hegel was a person who believed that changes are important. In this society, it is important that you are understanding those changing, you are implementing those changes, and you are, trying to identify those, because this is the part, this is the first step towards revolution. And in the same way, it talks about that permanent self is nothing, right? Everything changes. Even this I that we talk about, this self that we talk about, it also changes. So once you have different perspective, right, now it's different. So this is what Buddhism says, that these thoughts of our changes, right? Next we have focused on improvements, suffering and liberation. So these things are very much needed, required in today's life, right? Because we are, getting lost in these anxiety, depression, right? And these are the reasons, because we are getting influenced with materialism world. We think that this is the core reality, the only truth, right? But Buddhism try to identify and try to explain it, that this is not the reality, this is not happiness. The moment we identify ourselves with materialistic world, there the ignorance started, and with it, it gives 12 categories which explains us that how person from ignorance to death and then again to rebirth it comes. We are going to learn about that later on. But these are the focus and implementation that it talks about. Suffering is there, liberation is there, and then basically impermanence is there, right? We are not permanent, we are going to diminish. This world is going to end, you are going to end, we are going to end. Whatever in this world is, right? It is going to end. So end is that Buddhism talks about, right? Then we have suffering. So there are different philosophers who said same about it, right? So if you remember, there another philosopher, and you'll write the name of that philosopher in the comment section. There's this philosopher who said about suffering. He says that you are condemned to be free. You are never free. Now, by this condemned to be free, I'm sure that you have understood whose name I'm talking about. But still, you have to write the answer in the comment section. Then it talks about suffering. That once you basically learning towards liberation, men are never free. They are condemned to be free. Because when you run towards that liberation, you are actually in a web of belief. You are in that web which basically basically holds you back, and because of that you have suffering, right? Then it talks about liberation. Buddhism also, like Jainism, it gives, like Jainism says that right conduct of knowledge is required, right? These are the things that are necessary for liberation. It also talks about liberation, that how we are going to have liberation, right? These are the things that we are going to study one by one. Now, let's understand what Pratitya Samutpada is. It means dependent origination. It says that all phenomena arise dependent on conditions. Suppose there is a seed, right? Now, to grow this seed, you need water, right? You need sun, you need different things, right? And then this seed will grow, right? And in the same way, this society also grows because of dependent origination, because of Pratitya Samutpada. Why? Because we require each other. Imagine a person living alone in this planet. Now, can you imagine him living there for a longer time? It is impossible, impossible, right? So we all are dependent on each other. And this is what Pratitya Samutpada says, that nothing exists independently. For example, I gave of seed, right? So there are different examples. Even I cannot live here alone. You cannot live here alone. We need society. We need this world. But yes, when it comes to materialistic world, this is what Jainism says, and I think it's very true. Don't you think that before, when these gadgets were not there, these things that we are dependent on, basically living on and living with, don't you think that we were living without them? Right? So all these philosophers, they live without these things, but we are so dependent on computers, we are dependent on phones, we are never out of it. So this is the reality that we have to understand. We spend hours and hours on those phones, and this is so wrong, not only psychological way but also health wise. So this is what we have to consider and understand from Buddhism theory, that materialistic is not that something we should adapt, right? This is not a good thing. So it says that nothing exists independently, right? Next, there are 12 nidans that Buddhism talks about, right? So these are the factors that are considered, right? Now, how it happens? Ignorance. If you are ignoring, right, what you are ignoring? Ignoring that the reality doesn't come from materialistic world, right? For example, Ria want to have iPhone. This is what ignorance. She thinks that her pleasure lies in there, right? Now, because she thinks that her pleasure lies in there, she is going to work towards that, right? This is what formation. She starts building and planning things according to that. Next, we have consciousness. There is some act in her mind, right? Which is some feelings in herself, which is leading towards that ignorance. Then we have name and form. We are going to work, mind and body is going to work towards that, right? Then six senses basis, right? Mind, body, eyes, ear. So all these six senses, they are going to work towards that. Then contact. Once you'll have that materialistic contact with yourself, right? Then we are going to have feelings, that desire, that pleasure that you are going to get from that materialistic world, right? That Riya is going to have. Then craving, to have that, thing, that materialistic thing in ourselves, that is craving. Then clinging, and then becoming, and then birth. Because of the acts that you are doing above, these 10 acts, you are going to have karma, right? And because of this karma, that how you are behaving, what you considered important to be, on the basis of these, you are going to have birth. And through this karma, you are going to basically aging and death will be there. And then again, this cycle will keep on repeating. For you start again with ignorance. But this cycle could end. According to Buddhism, this cycle could end by liberation will be there. But first you have to realize that this is the ignorance. this ignorance part should be removed. This should be removed, right? So once we'll have this particle in us which says that materialistic world is required, once you'll remove this, you won't have to face all these 11 categories, rest of the categories. But if you won't be able to do that, then again you have to repeat these 12, right? So this is what it says. So Samutyapadas, it says that dependent originations, how we are dependent on each other, and this is what we have to understand, that we do need each other, but in some positive way. We don't require this materialistic thing, right? We need to study, we need to work hard, right? Be kind to each other, and we need to work with each other. So these are the things that Buddhism, Jainism, and other philosophy, Indian philosophy says, right? So for all those students who are facing problem in Sanskrit words, I will tell you and suggest you to make one table for each of these philosophies and start writing their Sanskrit words, their English word, and then one more table should be there. I told you for this Western philosophy also, cause and effect. So for this philosophy also, we'll learn about cause and effect, and these cause and effect theories are being repeated in every time, in every year. So make sure that you are learning them thoroughly and writing their answers and examples, right? Pre-written answers should be there. Do not miss it. I'm saying it again and again. Do not miss these answers. So if you have any problem, then you can write in the comment section. I'll come with a PDF of Sanskrit words, and then we can have discussion about it. Rest, this is it, and I'll be coming with the next video.